Now the gastric gland, the digestive glands of stomach are called gastric glands, you know. They are simple tubular glands. Simple tubular branched glands. Simple tubular branched glands, you know. Okay. Like you learned that salivary glands are alveolar glands, complex alveolar glands, whereas gastric glands are simple tubular branched glands, you know. Now these gastric glands are present in the fundus region, pyloric region, cardiac region, different parts, you know. Mostly in the fundic part, you know, they secrete enzymes. The remaining part of the stomach, they secrete mostly mucus, you know. Now if you take the gastric glands, they have got 3 to 4 kinds of cells, you know. Number 1, oxyntic cells. Oxyntic cells. The cells of the gastric glands are given different names once again, you know. Number 1 is oxyntic cells, you know. Oxyntic cells secrete HCl. What do they do? They secrete HCl, you know. Oxyntic cells of the gastric gland secrete HCl, you know. The oxyntic cells are also called parietal cells. They are also called parietal cells. They synthesize HCl, you know. For HCl functions, I shall tell you later on, but you remember, timing you remember, you know, HCl provides acidic medium for digestion of food. It also converts inactive enzymes into active forms, you know. It also converts inactive enzymes into active forms, you know. That is one number HCl. Number 2, peptic cells or chief cells, or they are also called zymogen cells. The second type of cells present in the stomach are peptic cells or chief cells or zymogen cells. You know, they synthesize the enzymes, zymogens, like pepsinogen and prorenin. They synthesize 2 enzymes, you know, 2 kinds of enzymes which are released in inactive form in the stomach, you know. One is pepsinogen, the other one is prorenin. Both of them are inactive form. Inactive form of any enzyme is called zymogen form, you know. Most of the proteolytic enzymes in human body are secreted in inactive form, you know, so that they do not damage innermost layer of the alimentary canal, you know. Only in the presence of substrate they are converted into active forms, you know. So inactive form of any proteolytic enzyme is called zymogen form. Pepsinogen and prorenin, both of them are the enzymes secreted by the chief cells of gastric glands, you know, secreted in zymogen form, you know. The next you have goblet cells. The goblet cells synthesize mucus. The goblet cells synthesize mucus, you know. Okay, mucus that forms a thin layer all over the stomach, protects the stomach from being affected by HCl and other enzymes, you know, also lubricates the passage of food, you know. The next you have argentophin cells. These argentophin cells, they secrete hormones and Cazel's intrinsic factor. They secrete hormones and Cazel's intrinsic factor. This Cazel's intrinsic factor, you must remember, NEET point of view, the most important point here now. The Cazel's intrinsic factor helps in absorption of vitamin B12, helps in absorption of cobalt containing vitamin, that is vitamin B12, you know. Only in the presence of Cazel's intrinsic factor, stomach absorbs vitamin B12, you know. The next is hormones. What kind of hormones it secretes, you know? Serotonin, histamine, secretes 2 kinds of hormones, you know, serotonin, histamine and somatostatin. Okay, serotonin, histamine and somatostatin. The serotonin acts as a vasoconstrictor. It helps in constricting the blood vessels of the stomach. Histamine acts as a vasodilator, helps in dilation of the blood vessels, you know. Somatostatin prevents secretion of excess amount of serotonin and histamine here. Okay, it inhibits secretion of excess amount of serotonin and histamine. That is, during peristaltic movement here now, there will be dilation of the blood vessels, which is brought about by histamine here now. the normal conditions are restored by serotonin, by bringing about once again constriction of the blood vessels. The excess secretion of serotonin and histamine is under the control of somatostatin. That is about the hormonal part. Apart from this, there are certain cells called G cells. G cells are mostly present in the pyloric part of the stomach. The G cells synthesize a hormone called gastrin. G cells synthesize a hormone called gastrin. Gastrin acts as gastrointestinal hormone. What are gastrointestinal hormones? When the food enters into alimentary canal, that food first ensures secretion of certain hormones. Ensures secretion of certain hormones. And these hormones in turn stimulate various glands of digestive system to secrete digestive juices. So unless there is gastrin here now, the gastric glands cannot synthesize gastric juice. So the moment food enters into stomach, first there will be release of gastrin hormone. Gastrin in turn stimulates gastric glands to secrete gastric juice. Okay, all these secretions can be put together called gastric juice. Now the gastric juice is highly acidic with the pH 1.5 to 2. What is the pH of gastric juice? Highly acidic with the pH 1.5 to 2. You must remember, dear students, the pH of various gastric digestive juices also. The pH of gastric juice is 1.5 to 2, and the pH of salivary juice you have learnt already, it is about 6.7, which is slightly acidic, and this is highly the slightly acidic in case of salivary juice and highly acidic in case of the gastric juice. Okay, so these are the enzymes, and you must make a note of it here now. This prorenin is secreted only in infants. Prorenin is secreted only in infants. It is absent in adults. Why it is absent in adults, I shall tell you later on when we take up the physiology part of the digestion. So with regard to the digestive glands of the stomach and the structure of the stomach. Okay. Now we shall talk about the small intestine.